What are some of what do you think like the biggest misconceptions about Catholicism?
I don't know, that we're unified. We are unified. There is a unity to our doctrine, but that doesn't mean there isn't infighting. Biggest misconceptions, maybe, it's probably similar stuff that you deal with, that we must hate certain people because we disagree with behavior.
Sure.
That's probably one.
Penn
Or, beg your pardon?
Nah, dang it, dude.
Football reference.
I'm
Football
like
reference.
0 for 10 with this guy.
Don't let him interrupt you. Keep going. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Notre Dame's playing Penn State this weekend.
Okay.
You guys hate them.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so that would probably be the biggest one. Or that Catholics don't really... I think some Protestants, seeing such bad examples from Catholics, kind of assume that Catholics are just non-serious Christians. They don't read the scriptures. They don't worship Christ. They're just not interested in that. That it's more of a cultural thing than it is a sort of religious or a different word if you don't like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Commitment.
Yeah, it always not.
I think I think people have that misconception because it is true maybe not a lot of the time. I don't know, but in many instances. But I think it's always best if you're going to judge a religion that you judge it based on both what that faith says about itself and then those who are living to the best of their ability to that faith. Like, if I wanted to understand Calvinism and all I did was read why the Catholic Church thought it was wrong, it feels like, okay, at some point you should give the Calvinist a hearing instead of just what his enemies have to say about it or something. And likewise, if you're a Protestant and you want to learn more about Catholicism, like, you could read the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which lays out what we believe, or you could ask a practicing Catholic what the Catholic Church believes, and not just go to channels by evangelicals who say what they disagree with.
What about this pod?
Or they could listen to this pod. Yeah.
What I was going to ask you what they get. What are they getting you in trouble for these days?
Me personally?
Yeah. What do the Catholics not like about you?
Oh, I'm sure a lot of things, and
What are your
I don't
most
think they're
controversial
wrong.
Things other than getting a vasectomy.
The same things I don't like about myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to reverse a vasectomy if you become Catholic.
No, you
Good
don't.
question.
You don't have to, because it just seems like excessive.
Yeah.
It's something you would repent of, but wouldn't be required to undo.
Yeah, sure. They'd be like,
But I do know of many that have. I actually didn't. Yeah, I did an episode. Beg your pardon?
Wow.
Yeah, which I think is admirable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of things? You like anything about Protestants?
I love lots of things about Protestants. I've learned.
What do we got going for us?
Well, I don't know about your circles, but there are personal people that I have benefited greatly from. I would say Dr. William Lane Craig is one of them. Alvin Plantinga is a Calvinist that I've benefited from. John Eldridge. I love John Eldridge, and he's going to be on my show soon, which is going to be awesome.
Who's that? The
Wild at Heart guy.
dude.
Yeah, he just seems like a real beautiful
I got to get him
fella.
on that guy.
Yeah.
I got to get him on the pod. I wonder, where does he live? Do you know?
I think Colorado.
Oh yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Well, I think a lot of people, I think my age, have, if they've grown up like me, a lot of them, they kind of been disenfranchised by the church or whatever, how they grew up, because they see it's maybe hypocritical. My dad was doing this and he was saying this. I feel like a lot of people have that story, and so they're all like, feel like they graduated high school and kind of got it, and then everybody kind of left. And now, as what I've seen, the trend of it I've seen is everybody's now having kids or has had kids, and then they go, well, we got to teach them something.
Yeah.
And so you go, hey, don't, that guy gave you a gift, say thank you. Why? This guy, there's someone homeless on the street, we should help him. Why? Don't steal. Why? Don't, you're playing with your cousin, don't hit him. And everybody's we're all kind of going, well, why, if we're not Christian or whatever we're going to call ourselves, what we have to pass down some value system. And that's everybody, by the way. Even if you're atheist, you have to pass down to your offspring or children some kind of framework. And I think that a lot of people come back to Catholicism in their 40s.
Do I find that?
Yeah. In their 30s, or once they kind of start getting serious about their life, do they?
Yeah, I think once you, having a child is a life-changing moment where you have to decide, this thing in front of me, is it merely a sort of bag of chemicals, or is it something with intrinsic dignity and unalienable rights? And if it is, how do I explain that, and what do I want for them? And I think when you start asking those questions, it sometimes leads you back to the faith you were raised with or something like that faith. I would hope that people aren't becoming Christian because they think we should just be nice and have some basic reason for why we should be nice, because atheists can be nicer than Christians, of course, but that it would lead people to think, like, what is true? Is it true that God exists, or isn't it? Is it true that Christ rose from the dead, or isn't it? And maybe I can't have 100% certainty about that, but do I have any good reason to think it at all, and is it something worth giving my life to?
Yeah.
And I think it is.
Yeah. I think the way that the faith does work is you just go, man, that guy seems, a lot of people, a guy came up to me in the airport yesterday, and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I've watched your journey, and I've watched your, he's like, I don't know you personally, but I've just watched I appreciate how you carry yourself and how you've handled yourself, and I like what you are about, and a proclaiming Christian. It's like that would be my advertising plan, if you would. That you go, it seems like it's working for you, or it seems like this is the framework in which I'm going to choose to live my life. And then somebody goes, what's that about? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that's the best way to evangelize, you mean? Or it's often it's an opener, isn't it?
But you guys don't have tracts, do you?
Yeah,
you give a $100 bill to a waitress, you open it up, it's a
no,
Catholic.
We don't really do that.
You guys don't do that.
But there are little pamphlets and things that would explain Catholic
teaching.
teaching.
Here's what you guys don't have that you got going for you. Ex-evangelicals. You know what that term is?
I guess it's people who've left the church.
Yeah, put two and two together. Yep. Yeah, or like deconstructionists. You ever heard that term before?
Yeah.
Where they're like,
that's about as lame as tattoos are now. it was cool.
He said it, dude, not me.
It was about cool for 15 minutes, and then we all went, "This is not as subversive as we once thought." Yeah.
I didn't say it. I didn't say. I mean, I have been saying that for like 3 years.
Have you really?
I feel like
About
yes.
I have a tattoo. Just want to remind people, I'm a hypocrite. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
No, I go. I've said for the longest time that everybody, my pastor didn't let me sing on Sunday morning, so I'm out of here. Or everybody that is deconstructing or ex-evangelical used to be very involved in the church, and then the pastor. Something happened to them. Maybe they got fired, and they're like, I'm out of here. And I go, I've tried to say for forever that you're doing the same thing. You just swung to the other side. So like the alt-right politically, then they're like, let's say your guy didn't get elected and he swing to the alt-left. I'm like, you're still doing the same thing. You're just going all screw Christianity. I'm out. And now you're giving yourself all to this. And then that movement is going to let you down, right? Of course, and then you're gonna. I go. There's. I think there's a lot of good things about Catholicism, and there's a lot of good things about Protestant. Where I think, and
can I share a quote with you from one of my favorite living philosophers? His name's Dr. Peter Kreeft.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mark Wahlberg.
And no, and he said, "When a maniac is at the door, feuding brothers reconcile." And so I think it's important that Catholics and Protestants,
say that again.
When a maniac is at the door, feuding brothers reconcile. Yeah?
I got that.
Yeah. So the idea would be that we have legitimate differences that need to be sorted out, and we can continue arguing. Yeah. But when there's this great threat of, say, mutilating children or killing them in the womb or what have you, it can help to sort of join forces and work alongside each other.
Yes, if we're arguing with each other about the whatever, this and that, I feel like, I don't know if this is a good comparison or not, but I feel like 9/11 was kind of everybody started praying. Yeah. Everybody was like, your faith, everybody was we were all unified, kind of. That's exactly that.
Something like
when
that.
Nobody was praying, nobody was in church, when there's a maniac at the door, when everybody goes,
let's leave our differences aside.
Then
just
you
for
go,
a second.
hey, if you drink or don't drink, it doesn't matter. We got to get to, I like that a lot. Yeah.